All that's happening in Nigeria. Now, voting has begun to elect a new president in the African nation. Now, Nigeria will choose a successor to President Muhammadu Buhari, who is stepping down after 8 years. Nigerians are also voting for the country's two houses of parliament, the National Assembly and the Senate. 18 candidates are vying to lead Nigeria, that is facing a series of struggles, the most pressing being a shortage of cash. Now, to win the presidency, a candidate must get the most votes, but also win 25% in two-thirds of Nigeria's 36 states. Nearly 90 million people are eligible to vote. About 10 million new voters have registered this year. Most of them are under the age of 34, representing an important bloc if they come out to vote. Over the last 2 decades, Nigeria has witnessed a decreasing trend in the voter turnout. While 2003 saw a turnout of about 69% voters, the last elections in 2019 saw a mere turnout of about 35%. The election comes as Nigerians are struggling to cope with the shortage of cash caused by a plan to swap old banknotes for new ones. The currency swap has wreaked havoc on people's daily lives and led to scenes of violence at banks and cash machines. The presidential elections have in the past often been marked by violence, ethnic tensions, vote buying and clashes between supporters of rival parties. Voting often falls along ethnic and religious lines in Nigeria. In 2019, hours before polls opened, the Independent National Electoral Commission postponed the polls by a week because of problems in delivering election materials. Today, most experts see the election body as being more prepared. It has introduced biometric voter IDs to help prevent fraud. Around 400,000 police personnel and troops will be deployed around the country to protect the vote. This is Nigeria's 7th election since 1999, when it left military rule, making this the longest uninterrupted democratic period for the country. The election is being held amid growing security and economic challenges. Thousands have been killed by armed groups. In the last year, while many have been pushed into poverty because of surging inflation and endemic corruption, the election body has given no timeline for results this time. But votes are expected to be tallied within a few days. Now, under a 2022 law, the official results have to be confirmed within 14 days of the ballot. For more on this, our correspondent Louisa joins us from Lagos. Louisa, it's a tightly fought race dominated by 3 political veterans. Tell us how crucial this election is for Nigeria and what are the issues on voters' minds?
Thank you very much. It's actually a very interesting time for Nigerians as most people are all out in anticipation of how this election would go. Right here, I'm at a polling unit in K2, Lagos, Nigeria. As you can see, the INEC officials are just arriving. Elections are supposed to start at 8:30 a.m. up until 6, but at least according to the INEC officials, for those on queue from 8:30 up until 2:30 p.m., they'll be allowed to continue voting until the last person votes. Like you said in your introduction, it's a very interesting time here as for the very first time we're having over 90 million eligible voters that have registered for this year's election. A shift from the over 84 million thereabouts in the last election in 2019. And another interesting thing is that of the over 90 million, 40% of these 90 million are young persons under the age of 34. And they have quite a number of issues. They're channeling their inner anger to ensure that the next president attends to them. The President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration promised a free, fair and credible election. And one of those ways is to curb vote buying. And that, of course, necessitated the Naira redesign policy, which, unfortunately brought untold hardship on the people. Where people have cash crunch and the hardship all through. But be that as it may, they are all out to vote. I can see behind me young persons queuing already, waiting for the accreditation process to start so that they can start casting their votes. And this year is also peculiar because of the technology that INEC will be deploying, the BVAS, where votes will be counted, because from here there will be direct transmission of election results to the INEC server. This, of course, will bring some sort of support for Nigerians who hitherto think their votes do not count in previous years.
Louisa, many Nigerians are concerned about which candidates offer new ways to tackle the state of insecurity. Now, give us a sense of security presence there in Nigeria ahead of the elections.
Yes, I mean, it's been known that sometimes voter apathy in the past years is often attributed to lack of insecurity because the electorate are not really sure how it's going to pan out. But the electoral umpire announced at the press briefing yesterday that about over 40,000 security personnel have been deployed across the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory, to ensure that adequate security is all around during the elections. And also, land, air and sea borders have been shut down since 12 midnight Friday, and it will not be reopened until 6 p.m. after the elections to ensure that we do not have people infiltrating into the country to distort the peace of the elections. So far, we hope the INEC have given us their word that they are prepared for all of the elections this year, and we do hope that we'll be seeing that playing out. The election, some of the electoral bodies for this ward just arrived with their materials, and accreditation will start in earnest in the next couple of minutes.
Thank you for all those updates, Louisa. Louisa with us live from Lagos as Nigeria enters its voting for this time.